this is Stampy, and welcome to a Minecraft Let's Play video, and another video in
104 days of summer vacation, then school comes along just to end it. So the annual problem for our generation is finding a good way to
every day when you're walking down the street, everybody that you
What do these videos have in common? They are nostalgia-related media. I love the feeling of nostalgia because whenever I feel down and lonely, it gives me a sense of comfort. It has proved to be a useful tool for comfort and happiness. In fact, according to a BBC study, people that are prone to nostalgia were less likely to have lingering thoughts about death and were less likely to be vulnerable to feelings of loneliness. I love the feeling of nostalgia, and today we're going to be taking a trip back memory lane as I pay tribute to nostalgia and discover what it means for other people.
Take a seat, take a seat. Look happy.
Firstly, I conducted several interviews with 3 people and I asked each of them what makes you nostalgic and why.
There are many things that around the media that make me feel very nostalgic. But as well as things in the media, there's also physical things you can hold that also make me nostalgic.
Well, to be fair, what makes me nostalgic is anything from the past, really, that I have good memory of. Going to Legoland with my dad being one of them. That happened years ago, probably 2014 maybe. That was quite nostalgic because that happened at a time where everything was a lot simpler, and anything that's a bit more simple just gives me a bit more nostalgia.
Well, there's several things that makes me nostalgic, really. Like, one thing that does is video games, more specifically the Halo franchise, like the earlier ones. So I'm a 2001 baby, so I grew up on Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, 3 ODST, you know, probably like the golden era of Halo.
Honestly, nostalgia for me is just anything that is no longer around, but still you can remember it greatly.
The next thing that makes me nostalgic is music. When I stayed up till 5 AM in March 2020 to listen to The Weeknd's After Hours album, which is probably like my favourite album of all time, the sad boy anthem right here. And lastly, we've got Random Access Memories, which, you know, the song Get Lucky was overplayed a lot, but for some reason whenever I hear that, I just think back to like my teenage years.
There's also baking, because I had a grandma that used to bake even after she had a stroke and lost feeling in one of her arms. And to be able to smell like a cake baking in the kitchen, or walk past somebody's house and smell scones or scones makes me feel very nostalgic.
So, now that I know what makes other people nostalgic, I think it's time that I go see this man who thrives on nostalgia.
The person I am seeing today is a man called Sam Howell. He is a business consultant who lives and breathes nostalgia. And today I will be talking to him about why he is heavy on nostalgia. But he also has something that is in his garage that caught my interest. That being the DeLorean.
Yeah, I'm a very nostalgic person. I've always been one of those people that likes to have things around me I had a wonderful childhood growing up. I had, you know, great friends and family, and, you know, and I used to buy things when I was on holiday. It'd be like wristbands when I'm on holiday in Spain, and weird knickknacks and things. And I just like, I loved keeping them, and, you know, and like being able to look back and go, oh, that was from that holiday, or that was the day that we did X, Y, and Z. So I've got like a lot of things. I've got a cabinet inside, and it's like, there's nothing really of any monetary value to anybody else in there. It's all things that are important to me. It's things from my life. life. It starts with like my christening chain from when I was, you know, christened just after I was born. So that's, you know, as old as me, it's over 40 years old. And then things that I've just picked up over the years and people have bought for me. And, you know, I think there's probably a lot of people who'd be surprised of things that I've kept, which they didn't realize I probably would. So yeah, I'm a very nostalgic person. So as a kid, I was brought up on Back to the Future, like I'm sure a lot of people were, and, you know, science fiction, and, you know, all of these amazing sort of cult classics. And the first time I watched that movie as a child, you know, I was just blown away. And if you know the original story, apparently originally the time machine was going to be a fridge, and then they axed it and they said, no, this isn't good enough. And then, you know, they decided to go for the DeLorean. Now, in 1985, when they released the movie, the DeLorean Motor Company had gone out of business in 1983. So it only ran production for like 2.5 years. They were hard to come by. They only made about 9,000 ever. And I always used to say to my brother, you know, I've got to have one of those one day. And my wife said, look, when the money's in the bank, it's not earning anything in the bank. You're probably going to make more money from it being sat in a classic car. And do you really want to be doing this when you're 60, or do you want to do it while you're 40? So I said, if I've got your blessing, then I'm going to go and look for one. The owners club, one of the 2 owners clubs in the UK. I got in touch with the guy there who was amazing. We went through like a channel of people. He introduced me to somebody in the Midlands. That guy introduced me to somebody he knew who had 3 DeLoreans. One on the road, one was in bits, and one was like a waiting project car, which is my one. And I went up and saw it. I can remember I'm sort of like standing there, wearing a baseball cap, I think, backwards, and I'm holding my head, and I'm looking at this thing and going, I've been here 5 seconds and I know I'm gonna buy it. So I bought it. And now it's behind me and I've had it for 1.5 years. So at the moment, no, the plan is to keep it original. Once you do the movie replica, it makes it less convenient to drive, less convenient to sit in. You can't really leave it anywhere, you know, because it'll just get so much attention. You don't want people putting their kids on the bonnet and taking pictures and stuff like that. It's just, it comes with its problems. But I'll just say it's not a no yet. So, I knew you were going to ask this. If somebody said to me, sit down now, which one are you going to watch? I'd probably watch the third one. I love like Doc building this huge refrigerator system that made like one ice block for his iced tea. The stand-up at high noon with Biff Tannen, and there was just so much about that movie where I thought when they did the third one, you can't bring any more magic to the first 2. It's not possible. And then I watched it and I was just like, oh yeah, they've nailed this. So I'm gonna say the third one, and a lot of people can hate me for it, and that's absolutely fine, but you know, taste is subjective. I always wanted a Batmobile from the first Batman, the Michael Keaton Batmobile. And as far as I'm aware, there is only one I know of in the world that is road legal. It's, you know, driven by this guy in Australia, and he takes kids out in it who are, you know, are sick, or they're in a difficult point in their lives, you know, whatever it may be. And he goes out and does a lot of charity work and takes people out for this amazing Russian experience. And he's got an amazing replica and it looks awesome. Nostalgia-wise, I don't know what my next project's gonna be. I mean, hopefully I've got a couple of years to think about it, but at the moment, I don't know, and I think I've got my hands full.
After we did the interview, Sam was kind enough to let me sit in the DeLorean. I took photos as well, which then concluded to a great day.
Now, before I go, I just want to say, filming this documentary was a blast. The reason to this was because I was surrounded by all this happiness and joy coming from these other people talk about what makes them nostalgic. All these people were really happy when they would talk about what makes them nostalgic and why. I felt really happy when I was making this documentary, seeing these other people happy, and it made me happy. It's been proven to be a very useful tool for us to unite together and for us to be happy together. And I guess in a way that's the power of nostalgia. And with that, I am going to end the documentary here. Thank you for watching. This is Ethan Robbins signing out.